Do you know that right now, many companies in Vietnam can buy renewable electricity directly from solar farm and wind farms and not relying fully on EVN? This is called DPPA, or Direct Power Purchase Agreement, and it is one of the most important changes in the energy sector in Vietnam right now. But what exactly is DPPA and how does it work? Or how does even other regions like Thailand, Malaysia or Europe call it? Let's break it down in this video. Hello everyone, this is Trang and welcome back to the channel. As you can see, it's the evening here. I just came back from work but feel very motivated to record a video, so here we are today. I know the light is ridiculous, but bear with me. I have been working in the RE sector in the past 5 years, but then I realized that my knowledge is not enough. So this channel served as a purpose for me to self-educate myself. It's also a way for me to talk about renewable energy, very general, very basic, to young people who are interested in this sector, and also to connect with experts for their insights. So with that in mind, some of the video in this channel will be very general, very basic, and some will be very deep dive, very detailed and technical. So the DPPA video that you're about to watch, this falls into the basic flash general information video. Vietnam's Direct Power Purchase Agreement, or DPPA, is a regulatory framework that allows large commercial and industrial consumers to purchase renewable energy such as solar and wind directly from private power generators rather than relying solely on the state-owned utility, in this case EVN. In Vietnam, it is called DPPA, which stands for Direct Power Purchase Agreement. But if you're working with like large corporation and at the foreign countries, you may be more familiar with the term CPPA, so which stands for Corporate Power Purchase Agreement. In the market like US or Europe, it is just simply be referred to as like physical PPA and virtual PPA. Now look at the Asian neighborhood. For example, in Malaysia, this mechanism has rolled out through initiatives like CGPP, which stands for Corporate Green Power Program, and the newer CRESS, which stands for Corporate Renewable Energy Supply Scheme. Meanwhile, in Thailand, they are breaking away from the grid single buyer model and establishing a regulatory sandbox using third-party access, TPA. So this TPA framework paired with green tariffs like UGT, Utility Green Tariff, are helping to shape the renewable energy market in Thailand. And I will do maybe a separate video in the future to talk more about those regional schemes that is quite similar to DPPA in Vietnam. Despite all of the different names across the border and region, the core principle of a model like DPPA is allowing large corporations to buy renewable energy directly from an RE generator, like a private developer, to meet the company ESG target and goals. The DPPA framework provides two primary ways for businesses to source green energy. So the first one is physical DPPA. How it works is the renewable energy producer and the consumer are connected via a direct, dedicated and private transmission line. EVN in this role is bypassed entirely for the transmission of the electricity. The electricity price in this case is negotiable directly between the generator and the buyer. The second framework is virtual DPPA. How it works is the renewable energy producer feeds clean power into the national grid, and the large consumer buys their electricity from the national grid via EVN as usual. In this case, the generator and the consumer sign a separate contract, usually a bilateral financial agreement. If the spot market price is lower than the contracted price, the consumer pays the generator the difference. If it is higher, the generator pays the consumer. The pricing of this model will help businesses cope with the market price inconsistently and lock in a long-term, more stable energy cost. First of all is the generators. So they are usually the private developer in the renewable energy project, which include like solar, wind, biomass, or even small hydro. The second type is the buyers. So they usually is the large energy consumers, and they need to meet the threshold of using the electricity around 200,000 kilowatt hour per month. So why are multinational giants are pushing hard for this? There are three massive benefits. First is corporate sustainability. If you export to a US or Europe, and if your parent company has a strict carbon neutral or RE100 targets, you need a traceable green energy attribute, and the DPPA just give you a concrete proof of decarbonization for this purpose. The second reason will be cost stability. So instead of being vulnerable to routine retail electricity price, which is hike and like differentiate from time to time, you can lock in fixed and highly predictable multi-year pricing structures. Third is the market independence. So it's changed the game for the Vietnam energy sector, inviting waves after waves of international private green investment into Vietnam. You know, the rollout of the Vietnam's DPPA marked an important milestone for Vietnam, as the energy market is now more competitive and more modernized. So if your companies are working in Southeast Asia and also in Asia, understanding those regional schemes would be very beneficial. And lastly, this video was made possible because of a lot of links and articles that I get to read. So I will quote them down in the comment section below. You can check them out. They're amazing source of information. This channel I have right here is not for me to give like personal insight, because as you can see, I'm not the expert yet, and I don't think with my humble experience in the sector, I don't think that I'm qualified to give such insight. But I will try very best to research the topic and give you a good update and also good information, more centralized information regarding the RE sector in Vietnam. So hope you enjoy it. If you like the video published in this channel, please remember to like and subscribe to the channel. This is Trang. Xin chào, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.